Welcome to Comedy Craft, where we discuss the craft of comedy and craft beers. Welcome to the DC Comedy Loft. I am your host, Haywood Turnip Seed Jr. Woo!
I'll take my shirt off.
And right there you hear our first guest in this pilot episode, my man, Mr. Trevor Wallace. What up, Trev?
What's going on, man? This has been a lot of fun.
Hey, Trevor's in town. He just did 5 sold-out shows over the course of 3 days. Is that 5 sold-out shows?
5.
5.
Some people might say 3, but it was 5. 5 sold-out shows.
5 sold-out shows.
Whether it was in the big room or the small room, who knows? But it's still 5 sold-out shows, so I don't really care. You know, it's all good, though. How's everything going on with you? Good?
That's good, man. I can't complain. Thank you for sitting down with us and talking after your shows, because it's always rough. This is like the part after the show where we get talking in the gym and talking about how did you make those shots? How you feel about those shots? Yeah. Well, we take a few shots. Well, we discuss. We're talking about craft beers, so we're going to be shooting a few beers.
Hey.
We're not shooting, but drinking a few beers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with it. However you guys drink out here, I always like to do what the local people in the city do. So if you guys just slam back beers like that, let's get after it.
Let's get it. So where you from, brother? Tell the people where you from.
So I was born in Naperville, Illinois. But my mom was from the Southern California, and she was like, this shit is too cold. And then convinced my dad, because women always have to say in the relationship, it's like, my dad probably had a great job. She's like, this shit too cold. And he's like, but what about me? He's like, fuck all that. We're going back to California. So I was only in Illinois for 2 years, but I spent, most of my life in Southern California. Then
wow, that's a big switch, Illinois to California.
Oh, yeah.
That Cali vibe.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like a good switch, you know?
It is. I'm from Gary, Indiana, so I know what you mean.
Right.
Yeah, that Midwest vibe is like, okay, flatland, and then all of a sudden you get a lot of beauty, a lot of sun, and a lot of,
and then like one season. Yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't a bad move, I think, for either side. You know, my mom got to go back, and my dad got to see what California was like, you know, so I don't think they minded.
So real quick, we want to go ahead and run down your credits to the people who may not be aware.
Oh, flex. The reason I sold out these shows, you see it.
So let's talk about your work with Stiff Socks Podcast, you and your co-host, Michael Blaustein.
Yeah, man, so I got that. It's every Wednesday, one a week, and it's doing good. It's moving, you know. It peaks on the comedy charts, you know, like number 50, something like that. Yeah. So, you know what's crazy is like 50 doesn't sound like a lot, but like in LA alone, there's got to be like 70,000 podcasts. Right. Like it's crazy. So
1 to 50 is huge.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like you tap on a random white dude's shoulder in LA, and he got a podcast. It's like, yeah, I review vintage films, and you're like, yeah, we knew that shit. Yeah. So it's cool, and it's dope, and it's hard because it's hard to go viral on a podcast.
Right.
So you know, it's different. It's way different. I had to learn that. You know,
but you're a viral sensation already, though. Because not only do you do podcasts once a week, but you also throw a sketch up, and you get like mad work on them sketches.
Yeah. So that's what was hard for me is like I'd put out a podcast and it would get like 10,000 views, and I'd be like, why the fuck is it not doing millions? It's like, well, nobody wants an hour, you know? It's also like all my people came to my page because they like 2 to 3 minute sketches.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, here's an hour, thinking like, oh my God, this extra. But they're like, I don't really got time for that. I'm trying to watch this while I'm at a red light. I very like red light comedy. You know, it's like, I mean, if you look at a red light, everybody's on the phone these days. So like, that's like kind of where people kind of flourish best right there. Is, you know,
it's easy to digest like the 5 minutes to 4 minutes.
Podcast is commitment.
And get engaged into something, which is, you know, what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. So with your the way you have been a viral sensation, man, you also got to work with All Deaf Digital. Yeah. So big up to that.
That was my first job out of college. Working All Deaf.
Say word.
Yeah, so
that's what's up.
Kev on stage, the mentor, that guy taught me so much. I interviewed with him in 2015. I was there for 3 years. Interviewed with him because I was on like the social media side of things there. Like, I was like in the marketing team and whatever. And I remember interviewing with Kev, and like they knew I did open mics and stuff and stand up, and then they did put me in a sketch here and there. Yeah. And then they're kind of like, oh, this kid's kind of witty, you know. And then they started putting me in more and more stuff. And then I think they just really liked me because I wasn't trying to be anybody else. I was just very much myself. And then they found the comedy in that. And then they started writing me in sketches and put me in like some of the biggest segments, like dad jokes and all that stuff. And great taste. So I love those people. I mean, those are some of the funniest people I know. And, you know, a lot of those people are doing great things right now. So
that's what's up. So you went from stand-up into sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Big up. How was that transition?
It was... I always had like two separate lanes for it. It's not like I'd separate the two because I do think it is a different kind of comedy. Mm-hmm. At least for me and my audience, it depends. But I didn't want to use my sketch side on. I always think about it like if I was a random person walking past a comedy club and saw the marquee and saw Trevor Wallace is here, I don't have no idea what he does. Mm-hmm. Would I still be able to laugh? Yeah. Because if I'm doing stuff for my videos on stage, that hits for my audience, but a random person's like, what? So I try to do a nice blend. I'll throw a few shout outs here. I try to just keep it like, and that's why I like, even like after tonight, I'm going to go do a spot at Big Hunt, and if they don't know who I am, I'm just doing 5 minutes. They're like, what? Okay, he's just another comedian. So I try to keep it, I try to keep the two separate.
That's dope. That's dope because I was watching your set and I was like, there were elements of the sketches in the set. Yeah, that energy,
the energy, the voice, kind of you can hear it a little bit. Yeah, so that's what's kind of. But the material
was all like, okay, look at this. Like,
I try to come at it from a stand-up perspective because that's how I started. And internet comedians have a terrible rep anyway. So I'm not. They do, and I'm not trying to be another guy up here that's just milking a fucking door deal.
I heard that
because there's just so many comedians out there who would just be like, I've been working for fucking 15 years and I still get paid in drink tickets. Why does this YouTuber guy get to sell out an arena at 2 p.m. And I'm like, hey.
Well, he's viral. That's one reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, people know who he is.
Seats. I'm coming from that mindset. Like,
right.
If you're putting butts in seats, then that is really helping somebody like myself be seen by a lot more people.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, you keeping the club open.
Yeah.
Selling out 5 shows in 3 days.
I mean, at the end of the day, the booker could be the biggest comedy fan in the world, but if you're not filling seats, like, you're not paying their bills.
Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, somebody got to pay for that water that's on tap.
All right. Hey, somebody, that's expensive stuff.
Hey, man, the ice cubes cost. So that's what's up, man. So from California, one of my favorite sketches that you did is the guy who stays home.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. That's a
when you were like Riley's best friend, yo.
Yeah,
that was so dope. Because going off to college, I met that guy.
Yeah,
but then being from a town where those people were around, I also knew that guy.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yo, that cat was hilarious. When he got her pregnant again.
Yeah. I mean, that character's based off somebody in my hometown. He just doesn't know yet.
I was just going to ask you. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, it's this dude, and it's like, it's just, he's the typical, like, you could write a movie off this guy. Like, played football for the team, was good, went off, played somewhere for like D3, and then just like, just had a kid early on.
Yeah, I know that guy. I played football with that guy.
Yeah, and that's why I think it did well. It's just like, it was a fun character for me because I, like, to write that shit, I just went down my Facebook and just wrote like whatever people were talking about.
Word.
And everybody has that guy in their hometown, so it's like the sharing, the truthfulness of the video made it do well,
Right. So your sketches tend to be based in some form of reality. Is your material like that also? Your stand-up material like that?
Kind of, yeah. The material is like observational, which I guess is also in the reality world of that stuff. So, I'd say so. Okay. It's kind of just observational point of view type stuff that other people, it's like the relatability. When you say something, other people go, oh, I do notice that type shit.
Yeah. Like I loved your bit, the T-Pain bit.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I mean, that was like, okay. And then it was like, it's supposed to have a comic. Like, I should have saw that coming. But it's like, when you give a fresh take on something that I'm aware of, I'm like, yo, that cat has chops.
Yeah. That's something funny as a comic. When you see somebody, like, do a bit like that, you're like, man, fuck, this is a good bit. I wish I had that bit,
Yeah.
There's so many times where you're just like, that bit would be.
Yeah.
Why did I think of that?
So speaking of wishing I had that bit, are we ready for those drinks?
Oh.
All right. So this is
first one. What we got coming to the table?
This is our first drink today, and we're drinking out of goblets like all craft beer people should be doing. This is our distilled blueberry.
Yeah, you guys were like, we're trying flights, but this is hefty.
This has got Game of Thrones shit, daddy.
Oh my god, yeah. So this, you said one more time.
So this is distilled blueberry gosed. This is a sour. Well, it's not quite a sour. Gosed
like
is not a sour, but it's in the sour family.
Cheers, man.
So cheers to you, sir.
Give it a sip real quick.
Give it a sip.
Man, okay.
How do you feel? How do you like that aroma?
It reminds me of my childhood, which is the worst thing I could have said. All right, here's the thing. I've been drinking since I was 7, so no. Something about
the love my father gave me.
Something about the taste reminds me of like it doesn't really taste like alcohol.
No, it doesn't. No. It's a little. It's tarty. It's sour.
I realized in 2019 people are getting really good at disguising alcohol as alcohol. Like shit doesn't taste like alcohol anymore. Because I feel like in the prohibition it's like this shit'll burn your esophagus. Right. And now it's like you don't even know you're drunk, and you're like, is that a good thing? You
know? Yeah, it runs right through. That old stuff used to be like that Everclear and stuff like that.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, those college drinks that put you through something.
What was that shit? 151 rum. You ever had some of that, Bacardi?
Yes, sir.
That shit has a metal cap on it with holes in it. That should be a sign like, hey, no.
Yes.
But my dumbass friends were like, pop the top off. And I'm like, there's a reason that's there. There's a reason Bacardi put that shit on there.
Exactly. God, you can also put that in your fuel and its power engine fluid.
Bro, you can start a Ford F-350 with that thing. That shit is strong, man. What'd you think?
I like it. It's nice and tart. I like fruits.
Yeah.
I like ciders.
Okay.
So this is this Gose is blueberry, and it's mixed with spicy coriander and French sea salt. French sea salt. So this gives it that little tart taste.
Yeah.
Towards the end, where we go, oh, okay. So it's the back of your palate.
Right.
So I would drink something like this with a whiskey.
Whiskey in it, or
like
just additionally?
Additionally, like a shot of whiskey.
Okay.
Have this and give that bite, and then you have
I don't know when the right time to eat that or have one of those is, you know?
When you're going through a divorce.
Yeah. It's like, you're like, I want to be drunk, but on a happy note.
Yeah.
Whiskey is like a very sad drunk. So you're like,
and this brings that up.
Yeah, this is more of a happy. You're like, man, fuck that bitch. Yeah, you cheated. It's your fault. But yeah, sure, it's her fault, right? That makes you feel hopeful, right?
No doubt. We'll be back with more Trevor Wallace and our next craft beers. Right here, only on Comedy Craft. Do you love podcasts but just haven't found the show for you? Well, you're in luck. Here at Mad Scientist Media, we're coming out with amazing content throughout the month. Take a look to see what we have coming up at our website, msm.fm. That's msm.fm for Mad Scientist Media! And we're back with comedy sensation Trevor Wallace. So as we navigate this drink that we're drinking here that we're sipping on, I want to ask you, because you navigate through social media quite well.
Thank you.
And you do it quite often. Like you say, you do podcasts once a week and you do sketches once a week, which is pretty busy because it means you got to get it down and edit it and get it just right.
Yeah.
So how do you keep up?
Fuck. It's hard. I don't know, man. It's hard, but then again, at the end of the day, this is what I wanted for me. So it's hard to complain about something that you would have dreamed of 4 years ago. You know, when I first started working a day job, if I told myself what I'd be doing now, I'd be like, why would you ever complain? But it's kind of like a routine. It's like, a lot of comics think of stand-up as like a hobby, but like you really have to think about it like a job. Like, what am I doing now?
Yeah.
Is that going to make me money in the future?
Yeah.
So the videos pay the rent.
Yeah.
Stand-up, if I travel, it does well. But when I'm doing gigs in town, it's like $10.
Yeah.
I just got hit up for a gig tonight. It's like, do you want to close out my show?
Yeah.
25 minutes, $25.
Yeah, $1 a minute. That's what I said.
Right. Exactly. But if I'm out here and I get to charge for tickets, it's whole of the world.
Yes.
So, you can't rely on stand-up too much to stand-up can pay your bills, but you got to be active on it.
Yeah.
You got to be hustling.
Yeah.
So the video is nice because I don't need to rely on anybody else's time. I get to, I get to reach different markets. So it is a lot of work, but it's kind of like routine where I'll be like, okay, Monday, Tuesday, I either edit. Wednesday got the podcast. Thursday, Friday I'll film. Edit on Sundays, and it's like, and then I'll like edit on the plane, like on the flight over here. I was editing.
Yeah.
So I just try to like maximize my time.
That's awesome. That's exactly what I think of how it has to be because like you were saying, as far as stand up goes, we can do it, but you want people to be able to see it. Yeah. So when you showcase what you're doing in the sketch world, it's like, hey, come check me out at this, and then you get what you got today. You get 5, or this week, you get 5 sold out shows over the course of 3 days, which is kind of what's supposed to happen if you're putting in that work that
you're
putting in.
In an ideal world, definitely. I mean, that's like every comedian's dream, So
For
me, the biggest thing is just to put on for that, right?
Yeah.
It's like just because you're selling out shows doesn't mean you're good. So and I've talked to comedy club owners, and they'd be like, well, "Thank God you're not like so and so," because it was a long 45 minutes, and internet comedians have such a terrible rep already, and I think the stand-up world they're still acclimating to that guy who's, maybe never done stand-up, but he's selling it out on a Sunday. So to be able to be like, oh, no, I actually do this. Like, I've been doing this. Yeah. And then people watch me like, okay, cool.
Well, internet comedians are the new athletes, though. I mean, it's just a different form of athlete. It's a different way of looking at it. Mm-hmm. Today's athlete is totally different from the athlete in the 80s, right? They do it all year round. As opposed to somebody who took off the summer, got fat in the summer, and then was like, okay, I'm going to get ready for basketball season now. I'm going to get ready for football season now. Yeah. So when I look at the Indian folks, I'm looking at somebody going, hey, I need to constantly be moving in that direction. Right. I need to be constantly putting out content because that's what we create, right? Yeah. We create content and want to put it out into the ether. Mm-hmm. And then we want people to soak it up and pick it up and say, hey, I dig that. Yeah. So how did you dig this first craft beer that we had here?
I liked it. It's a good warm day divorce drink. It's good.
What would you call this if you could name it anything? If Trevor Wallace could name this beer, what would you
divorce delight. Because it kind of tastes like Crystal Delight a little bit, but you add a little bit of sorrows on top, a couple divorce papers, phone call from the judge, and I mean it's definitely a summer drink. Drinking this in the winter would be kind of weird, but I feel like it's a warm summer day drink, and something about like blueberry, you feel healthier too. You're like, oh, there's got fruit in there, it's got fruit. So shout out to that, right?
Yeah, and I think the idea of I just like the idea of coriander and French sea salt coming from Normal, Illinois. Yeah, I really do. I just like that. I'm just like, how did they get French sea salt in Normal, Illinois?
Right. I mean, that's the same thing.
That's not normal.
Anytime a place is like, uses turmeric. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's in there. Right. I mean, that's what I like ordering complex drinks at a bar. I'll be like, oh, shit, did you see that? He took a lemon peel, punched it with his hand, and put it in the drink. I don't know what that hand punch did, but I'm intrigued.
I still don't know what vermouth is, but I like it.
Right, exactly. Bitters? What the fuck's a bitter? But they're like 2 to 3, 4 drops of walnut bitters, and I'm like, I'm fucking sold, man.
Yes. So now we're going to get ready for our second beer. So this is Old Bushead Certain Swagger. I just love the name. Old Bushead Certain Swagger.
That sounds like somebody from Wu-Tang or some shit.
Somebody's been watching Wooloo.
Yeah.
Cheers to you, sir.
Cheers. It's IPA?
IPA. It's a double IPA, actually. So it has American and European hops. Unfiltered Sauvignon Blanc with white grapefruit aromas along with fresh mango and passion fruit juice. The beautiful thing about all of those things, it was concocted right in Virginia, Fauquier, Virginia, which was hilarious to me. I heard your joke about Arlington.
Yeah. Man,
I like how you put it in the community,
I mean, that's the thing. Is like if I have the time and I can like think about a local joke that I can make, that makes the crowd be like, I did his research, instead of like just doing the same joke city to city to city. If you do some local stuff, they feel important, it's like this is our city, so tying that in and because that joke when I do in California, I say this city called Fullerton. So I put you on food town in Fullerton, So out here, obviously people don't know what Fullerton is. So I was like, how can I change it to make it still work? And I was like, boom. Robert Arlington.
Yeah, and it brings in the neighborhood, it brings in the people who, that got an applause break right there. So
if you're from there, you're like, oh my God. You got it. And then that guy's going to try to explain the joke in the office on Monday. Futons and all it's going to be a mess. So,
that was hilarious because this joke, we're talking about this joke and it's based upon the T-Pain verse. And I'm not going to tell the joke.
I was like, hold on now.
It's based on that T-Pain play on words. So he plays with futons in Arlington, which is quite cool. So I like how you did that, man. I said it to say your growth as a comedian. How do you see how far you've grown in these past few years that you've been doing?
I think the shows are good because I went on the road in like April and May, and I didn't sell anywhere out. I sold out 2 shows in North Carolina, but they were like small rooms. And I was like, oh, okay, damn.
Yeah,
and then,
that's big. Small room in North Carolina.
Yeah. And then I took off some time in the summer, and then I did like I made like 3 or 4 videos that like did well together.
Okay.
And then on top of that, this is the first time really coming out. And then I did Charlotte, that sold out.
Yeah.
And then I did like Greensboro, and that like was packed out. And then I did like Greenville, and that was
nice.
It was just like these random states you wouldn't think you'd have markets in. Once those were like filling up, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like we are doing something right.
Yeah,
So I think it was really like it's the time of. Because numbers are numbers, right? Yeah. You look at a number and you're like, oh, I got this many more followers. But that doesn't really do anything for me mentally, you know? So when you go to a show and my agent's like, oh, you just sold out fucking Greenville, South Carolina. I'm like, wait, what?
And I know where that is. I've been there.
Yeah, so...
Roy Scoble's hometown, actually.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a fantastic comedian.
Yeah.
I think just that.
Roy Scoble and Jesse Jackson. From Greenville, South Carolina.
Hell yeah. I can see that vibe from Roy. Hell yeah. Yeah, but like it's just kind of the shows. I think those are the they let you know where you're at in the world, and and people hit me up for these shows. Oh, you got to add some more tickets to DC, and I was like, well, no, because now that creates a demand. Yeah. Next time I'm here, hey, last time I was here, 5 shows sold out.
Yeah.
Buy tickets now.
If you could give advice to your younger comic self, what would you say?
Patience, I think.
Wow.
Patience and consistency. Because everybody has somebody they look up to and they see what that person's doing that day. But it's like, but that's 20 years in the business. That's 5 years of doing this, 10 years doing that. So I think patience and just knowing that, like, keeping your eyes on like what you really want to do and doing something every day towards it. Like, I don't really even watch TV. I don't really watch that. People, what show you watch right now? I'm like, shit, nothing. I'm editing. I got time for that. So, I mean, just like patience and really go for it, and like, it'll take you a long way. I mean, I'm not saying I'm surprised where I'm at, but I'm thankful. Yeah. And I'm just glad that it does pay off. Yeah. Because it sounds cheesy, like dream do come true, but like in a sense, Yeah, you put the work in, you put the time in. It's hard work goes, It goes very, very far. It's wild because I watch a Netflix show every now and again, and then it's like, damn, that's the next way to edit that, and something that goes into what I would like to do, and it's just like, let me get back to work. Yeah, I mean, there's so many times where I'll watch a special, and I'm like, oh, that's how you write a joke. It's like. It's hard. It's like you watch like Chappelle's stuff and Burr's stuff, and it's like, I mean, those guys got so many years behind them, but it inspires you again. And sometimes that's like what you need. Then you just like turn it off and go right.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so it's good to have that type of stuff,
Speaking of being inspired, what would you be inspired to name this beer that we're drinking right here? This old bushead certain swagger.
I'm going to keep it with the same name. That's a great name. No, I couldn't do this name any justice. Like, that is a fantastic beer name.
I mean, when I heard certain swagger, I was like, the commercials that T.I. saw with Jay-Z and Swagger Like. Swagger Like.
Yeah. That's a great name, and some names should just be kept how they are. So that's a name I would keep for sure.
Right on. So we're going to go to our third beer now.
Boom.
Our third beer, which is here on time. Thank you to our lovely server. Hey, server. Hey.
Hey. What is this?
So this here is a lager.
Really?
This is a light lager, though. So we know lagers normally to be darker. Yeah. But this is a pale lager. This is Atlas 1500 South Cap, made by Atlas Brewworks. It's a Munich malt with American hops, named after the address of national stadiums where the Washington Nationals play, 1500 South Capitol Street. Damn. So it's a take on the German Helles beer. Helles beer meaning pale, so light, bright beers. That's some serious gourmet shit, Jimmy.
Yeah. That to me just tastes like if you could try what the beer emoji tasted like. It tastes like just a beer,
Yes.
Like it's
Ching Ching, Bud Light.
How do you? Well, Bud Light kind of
Bud Light's a little heavier than this actually because it has a little bit of red. This is along the lines of a light beer.
Yeah, I do feel that it's definitely lighter, but this is
even lighter than Miller Lite. This is lighter than MGD because there's not much head on this.
Yeah,
almost looks like a ginger ale.
Yeah, right. You can throw some whiskey in there, right? You can throw some shit in there, but
this is when you got to talk to the divorce lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like when you got shit to do, and you're like, I got how many kids to pick up at soccer practice?
So speaking of picking up kids at soccer practice, we talk about what's going into a minivan. What goes into making a good comedian to Trevor Wallace?
Good comedian. I think it's being strong in your own point of view, which is hard because there's so much to be influenced by. And I remember early on, if I listened to too much of Bill Burr's podcast or too much of like Chris D'Elia or Theo Von, you start to write like that because you're like, oh, I want to be like that. So finding, I can't remember who said it, but like I was working with a comedian. He's like, I don't watch anybody's specials. I forget who said that.
Yeah.
And like, man, it's just too easy to be influenced after that. Because you'd be like, oh, that joke is funny. Oh, this guy's dope. I want to write like that. She's hilarious, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think once you find your own point of view, and like you said earlier, like when a comic is watching your set and goes, oh, I thought I knew where you're going, but you didn't. That's the biggest compliment you can get. Because it's like, even like, I'll watch any comedian, I'll be like, I think I know where it's going. And then they throw me a curveball, and I'm like, boom. It's all joke. But because if you do guess where it's going, you're like, you feel like you beat the system for some reason.
Well, it's a cheat code. You know, it's a cheat code. So when you're playing video games with a cheat code, you can kind of see where this is going, so you kind of know what to do. You don't even have to read we already know. You play games for so long, I don't need to read the book anymore. Yeah, I feel like with a comic background, and tell me if you agree on this, I usually laugh at jokes before the audience does. If I'm in the crowd watching the stand-up. Because I like, my brain is it's just like, it's like that punchline. Then I'm like, haha, and then the crowd's like, whoa. And it's interesting. It's almost like I lead the crowd in laughing, you know? Well, you hear my laugh, right? So comics used to hate, I should say hate. Comics used to always be like, that's not the punchline Haywood. Like when I started out with the mics and still going to mics, and it was like, yo, I know that's, okay, maybe I don't know. But then it's like, okay, it became a nice game that we play with each other. And it's like, yo, now when I go to shows, comics, especially guys you're cool with, who are like, oh, this is going to be that. Yeah, so they know you're in the crowd. Be prepared. What's discouraging, though, is sometimes crowds have somebody who is a very loud laugher, and like, it's very distinct, and you hear the laugh. And then, like, your friends are up, they're getting that, and she's just cackling. Just and then, if you go up and you don't hear her laughing, you're like, am I bombing right now? That's the biggest way to know if you're, like, eating shit, is, like, if the one loud-ass laugher is like, the barometer. They become the mark. They do become the mark of the show. Right, because you're like, I heard her laughing from 3 parking blocks away. Yeah. And then, ooh. Yeah. You're not on my side. Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. It's funny how so much psychological stuff goes into a live performance, you know? Yeah, man. Yeah. You're listening to Comedy Craft. We're talking craft beers and the craft of comedy with Trevor Wallace. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break. Comedy Craft is recorded right here in Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Comedy Loft. An iconic location for stand-up comedy. We've got some amazing headliners the month of October. The Sklar Brothers on October 10th, and the First Family of Comedy, Shawn Wayans, October 11th and 12th. From Last Comic Standing, Aida Rodriguez, October 17th through the 19th. From Robot Chicken, Jamie Loftus, October 18th and 19th. Billy Sorrells, October 25th and 26th. Chanel Ali, October 25th and 26th. And Luke Knoll, October 30th. Devil's Night. All these shows and more. Tickets are available at dccomedyloft.com. Welcome back, listeners. We're getting into the nuts and bolts of what it's like to be a stand-up comic here with Trevor Wallace on Comedy Craft. So speaking of live performance and psychological things, what's your go-to warm-up before a show? I like to listen to music. Okay. It depends. If I'm doing new stuff, then I kind of just pace around and say that joke out loud, just like whether it's a green room outside or whatever, and just make sure I got the beats down and all that. Sometimes just like a good song will just kind of put you in the mood, you know? Yeah. Yeah, man, I had a real rough show because I was filming this like TV show in where was it, Minnesota. And I was so tired. I did the show, and I just wasn't feeling it. And then I had like a 30-minute gap, and I put Get Down on It. Yeah. That came on shuffle. I put that on shuffle, and I kid you not, the Late Show was amazing. It was one of the best shows I've ever had. Yeah. And it was just like it was just like music, and then music makes you feel good, obviously, right? Yeah. And then it's just a reminder, like, oh, look what you're doing. You're doing what you want to do. It's a packed audience here for you. Like, don't be down on yourself. Yeah. So I think pre-ritual is just a couple, whatever song you like at the moment, just play that, and it's just kind of just
Yes.
You try to catch that vibe, try to catch that wave.
A little bit, yeah. And it varies, you know, like I go through phases. Like whatever song I really like at that time, I'll play it or something like that.
Dope. But dope. That's what dope. I use music as a. You was talking about not watching specials, and I don't watch many, but I do watch a few. But I do tend to equate this comedy to music, like and try to build a set, like a song. Or try to build a joke like that. Like it has to have a hook and certain things like that. And some things can go away from that. Sometimes you're freestyling. But my performances, I actually want them to have something that they can remember. Yeah. But that brings them back. Right. So I say that to say, when you have your audience that comes to see you, I mean, they see you on the internet already. Yeah. What do you do to try to get them to come back to see you live?
I think it's just really just kind of shocking them, and because I think a lot of people either expect like the stuff I do online, but on stage, but kind of just having like a wow factor almost. Like, damn, we weren't expecting that. Yeah. And that's like it's a weird compliment, but it doesn't sound like a compliment, but it is. They're like, man, we didn't know what to expect. We just came out to your show just because we like your shit, but like. You're actually funny on stage. You know? People say the dumbest shit after shows. Seldomly anything they say after a show is good. Yeah. But, to be honest, man, we didn't have any hope in you, but you are funny. You know, it's weird, but it's like a backhanded compliment. They'd be like, we didn't know what to expect, but yeah, you were good. And it's like just take it.
Yeah, they don't know what to say sometimes.
Right. So I think just like just that. Because a lot of people know me from the internet shit, but now it's like, okay, I got to prove myself. Right. It's like, there's a reason I went through all these open mics in LA, just getting up 2 to 3 times a night, just for a reason. You know, it's like, I didn't do that shit because it was fun. Open mics. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I'm not going to do all this shit to just go wasted. So just kind of showing people the multifaceted, like, outlet. You know?
Yeah. So as we close this portion of drinking this beer here, this light lager, what would you name this light lager?
Cindy. It's got very Cindy vibes. If you haven't met a Cindy, that's a Cindy right there. It's just like, it's cool. Nobody's ever mad at Cindy. Nobody's ever mad when Cindy walks in. Nobody's ever like stoked when Cindy walks in. It's kind of like, what's up, Cindy?
Hey, Cindy, how you feeling?
Yeah, exactly. Very straightforward. Not a problem. Not a party starter. Not a problem, though.
Not a party starter, nor necessarily a party ender.
Right.
But filler.
Yes.
Maybe like a seat filler.
Yes, like a middle seat filler.
Like a middle seat filler.
Yeah, like, who wants to take the middle seat in the Altima? Cindy, you got it.
There you go. And you know what? But this, and that makes sense because this is named after a baseball team, and so this is out during the hot season, baseball season, so they're sitting out. They don't want to get too drunk, right? But they want to get nice.
Feel that.
Cindy.
Feel that. Cindy. That's that Cindy vibes, yeah. I see. This beer coming in looks fantastic.
Here we go with the last drink. Thank you, She. How you feeling?
I'm awesome. You guys wonderful?
Yes, we are. We are right now. I'm feeling
so my favorite beer. What is this beer, real quick?
This here is a stout, my friend. As you can already see.
Yeah, Nitro stout though.
Utah.
That's my favorite type of beer. Is a nitro stout. Yeah, it's just smooth. It's not a day beer.
Yeah, it's not a day.
You drink a stout in the day, you got further problems than just divorce. You know, you got. I don't know, something about it. It's
we have been talking about divorce.
Man,
are you in
I'm going through some shit right now. No.
I'm actually happily married right now this year.
Yeah, hey, congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, the year you decided when I started doing more headlining gigs is when we'll be like, I don't see you enough. Yeah. But I said it to say you are a man who knows your beers because you knew this was a stout. Yeah. You can see this, and you actually picked up Nitro. That's exactly what this is. This is North Coast Old Rasputin Nitro. So this is it. This is that imperial stout. It was brewed in the way that 18th century English brews were brewed, was supplied to the court of Russia's Catherine the Great. So if you remember Catherine the Great, one of the things she was known for was getting on a horse.
Is that true?
Of course.
The horse, of course?
She got on the horse butt naked.
Really?
Yes.
Wait. Chelsea Handler did that shit too, right?
Yes. That's like Sir Catherine the Great. That is the story of Catherine the Great. She got on the horse. She was a wild one. Her court was wild, man. Jesus. She was a czarina of Russia. So
this is also a different glass.
This is a different glass. This is one of the goblets that we'll have. This is more of one of those.
Looks like a candle. Like they used to have, like Paul Bunyan used to run out with it.
Babe, the blue ox.
Yeah.
So let's sip.
That's the one right there.
Yeah, that's the one that goes around.
I mean, you could pour that in a bowl of Reese's Puffs. The stouts are just smooth. Stouts are smooth already. Then you add a Nitro. The Nitro is a great touch. It's a good kind of lounging beer. Yeah. Gives off like a cigar lounge type vibe.
It does. There's a reason why this beer actually won 4 gold medals in a row at the World Beers Championships in Chicago.
Michael Phelps of beers.
Michael Phelps of beers. You ain't lied about that. 4 in a row, too. 4. That's amazing. Dang. So speaking of 4 in a row, you did 5 shows.
Hey, there it is. Not 4 or 5 shows in a row.
Over the course of 3 days. Yeah. So how are you feeling?
Feeling good. I mean, because the crowd kind of gives off a certain energy, and when there's good energy in the room, you just start riffing, and words come out you didn't even know you had. At least for me. Yeah. And now I go and listen back to this, like the audio that I recorded, and I'm like, oh, that was a good tag. Oh, that was something new. Yeah. And it's just the reps. Yeah. That's why, people are like, oh, why'd you do this instead of like one big show? I was like, because I'm at the point where I'm 6 years into stand-up. Mm-hmm. The greats are, 15. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to get my reps in right now. Yeah. So that's why if the offer was like, hey, because a lot of clubs won't give me weekends right now. They give me like Sundays and Thursdays or whatever. Yeah. But like when I did North Carolina, that was a weekend and that was in their smaller room. So if whatever club will give me a weekend, that's when everybody can come out. Nobody's got plans. Right. And just to run back to back, like just to do 45 minutes twice in a night, you learn so much. That's how you get the 10,000 hours. LA, I get up and it's like if somebody tells me to do 12 minutes, I'm like, oh shit, you want me to headline this bitch? Fuck, man, I don't know. Hey man, light me at like 7 or something. But, so the stage time in LA is fragile, so that's why I'll take these gigs, because I mean, 5 shows, 40, that's, I don't know math, 90?
Yeah, it's 90 a night,
180, I don't know, see, that's a lot of math. 180, 225? 225 minutes of stand-up. Yeah. So it's just and then each night I did roughly the same jokes, but I made different bridges to get to each one, different your transitions and whatnot. So
you can connect those energies,
exactly,
those
and that's what's great is knowing what jokes you want to do, but when you want to do them is great, and kind of like that where something pops up, somebody drops a drink, and you can riff on that and then go into a joke. That's like the real pro shit. Is when something happens, somebody yells something out, and then you can just tonight. I already had a joke written about paper straws or about just drinking too much, and then I related the two, and it seemed hopefully that it was off the top. But I mean, that's what some of these dudes I don't know if you're familiar with Ian Bagg. But
of course,
man, just a monster. And it's just so seamless. Yeah,
he makes those connections, and it's just like boom, boom, boom. But it's that constant repetition that helps you plan that spontaneity. You're just planning for unusual shit to happen.
Exactly, but he's been doing it for so long that he has a joke for whatever scenario.
Yes.
And then it's just and then the crowd is just like, oh my God. It's just seeing a magician pull a bunny out of the hat. It's crazy.
That's it. That's what I like to equate this to, is that being able to suspend belief, getting people to suspend belief. Yeah. Which is what we're talking about, getting people to come back. They might not know where they came initially, but we hope to get people to come back. Which is why I think it's really cool that you are doing these smaller rooms and selling out these smaller rooms, because that gives people reason to be like, yo, we want to see that guy back.
Yeah, it's also a cool little thing, because for whatever happens in the future, hopefully, some great stuff. But then people are like, oh, I remember when we saw him in a little basement. Yeah. Now he's doing whatever the fuck. So.
Dude, I remember shows where I've seen Jay-Z in basements. Really? Yeah, I mean, I'm older. So like when he started, it was like, yo, it was this club in Baltimore. And, he was the guy who was opening up for somebody else. Yeah. And now he's Jay-Z, and it's shit. I
was talking to somebody else earlier. I can't remember. I think they saw Chris Brown when he was 16. And Lil Wayne was opening. Yeah. It was like, Lil Wayne? So it's crazy. It's kind of a cool thing to do, and I hope that people get that experience from that.
Trevor Wallace, internet sensation, bringing his craft to the stage and showing what it takes to change people's opinions on comedy. We'll be back.
Are you looking to get into computer programming and development, but just not sure where to start? Maybe you've been in the field a while and you want to learn something new. Hi, I'm Brandon, and I'm your host for Truth or Dev, the podcast where we talk the truth behind coding, plus take on some exciting dev challenges that are sure to be an adventure in programming. We will also discuss development with different guests as they share their insight and answer questions from our subscribers. So be sure to check out Truth or Dev on Mad Scientist Media at truthordev.msm.fm for new episodes coming soon.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Comedy Craft. We're back with the amazing Trevor Wallace. Thank you, man. And that's what's cool. I say thank you because I'm glad that you hope people get that experience. And I want to ask you this one question before we let you go and get out of here. What do you consider making it?
I think it's hard to say because my biggest goal was to be able to just support myself financially through comedy. Because at the end of the day, it's like I'm doing what I wanted to do, and then anything else after that is extra credit. It's like, oh, you buy yourself a BMW? Shit. Extra credit. Not saying I have one,
right?
But
you keep doing these 5 shows in 3 days.
Yeah, you see it. But I think really for me, making it is being able to support yourself on something you wanted to do,
right?
Because I have made myself as a financial comedian,
yes,
if that makes sense.
It does.
Anything else after is just bonus,
Big up. So speaking of being a financial comedian, what would you like to plug right now as Trevor Wallace? What would you like to talk about?
I already mentioned the podcast, which is every Wednesday, Apple,
Stiff
YouTube,
socks.
All that stuff. Then I got some dates coming up here. I'm going to be in, I forget how to say it, Worcester, Massachusetts? Worcester. Yeah. I'm going to be there early October, and then I'm also going to be in Phoenix in November, and then Boston. God damn. I've said too. See, that's the thing. You do 5 shows, and your mouth just started throwing out words.
What's these drinks?
Oh, my words could not pass a DUI test right now. Yeah, Cindy creeping up right now. So, and then Boston in December, and then got some cool stuff coming up in 2020. But other than that, man, everything's on TrevorWallaceComedy.com.
All right. Plug your social media. What else can we see? We know TrevorWallace.com.
Yeah.
I know you're on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Yeah. You kill those. So what can
Everything
we find
is under Trevor Wallace except Twitter. Twitter is Trev Wall.
Yeah.
Just Trev Wall.
Trev Wall.
Yeah, Trevor Wallace is taken. And
who took Trevor?
It's another white guy with red hair.
Stop playing.
And I swear to God, I've reported his account like 7 times. Like, man, because he's on private and he's got like 150 followers. I'm like, man, here.
Wow.
Let me get the shit. So, but I messaged Twitter support and they're like, well, we don't have enough information. I'm like, man.
You know me. You see me.
I'm literally.
I just showed on 5 shows.
5 shows.
Over 3 days at the DC Comedy Loft. You know what I'm doing.
I literally reported him last week. I'm trying to, but that was before the 5 shows. So maybe I got to plug that real quick to Twitter. Let them know what's really going on.
Let them know what's going on. Twitter, you hear it. Hey, make sure you let Trevor Wallace have that name. And if not, everybody go there and follow Trev Wall and big up Trev Wall.
There it is.
Big ups to Trev Wall.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for hanging out with us, Trevor Wallace.
I
appreciate you,
It was a good time. Great beers.
I hope to see you out there on the road.
Yes, sir.
My name is Haywood Turnipseed Jr. We do want to mention that we are coming to you from the DC Comedy Loft, where you can actually taste all of these craft beers that we've been drinking. You can taste each one of them. Remember, you can taste Atlas 1500. You can taste North Coast Old Rasputin. You can taste Old Bushead Certain Swagger, and you can taste Distill's Blueberry Go Say. You can get all of these right here at the DC Comedy Loft. And make sure you like us and follow us on those social medias, DC Comedy Loft on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. My name is Haywood Turnipseed Jr. I want to big up people in the background who's been helping us. Big up Seth! Big up Sound Man! Big up James! Big up Sheila, big up other James, big up Jose. Every place has a Jose. We're doing our part to make America great again. Thank you, Trevor Wall, and safe travels, and make sure you get back to California in one piece, and we do hope you've had peace while you've been here, my brother.
Yes. Thank you so much for everything.
Peace to you, fam.
All right, take it easy, man.
Big up.
Sweet.
This show would not be possible without our amazing team here at Mad Scientist Media. Our producers, T. Lee, Shells, Brandon McGee, James Gagan, and Julia Luchtenfeld. Our producer, the man, the mad scientist, Seth Weinstein. Our fantastic chief audio engineer, Brother T. Lee. Beer expert and tonight's unbeatable server, Shells. And I'm your host, Haywood Turnipseed Jr. You can check out Comedy Craft at comedycraft.msm.fm or follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And of course, this show would not be possible without each and every one of you who tuned in with us. You can catch Comedy Craft on the 3rd and 20th of every month. Once again, for our viewers that make this possible, thanks. You are awesome.